That's recording.
Yeah.
That's recording.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, I've been ready. Yeah.
Let's begin. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Bitcade. This is episode
14?
15. This is episode 15
Wow.
of the Bitcade show. This is the official video game podcast of Primal Target, because we only have one so far for now. Stay tuned. Anyway, my name is.
I'm out of a job. Is that what that's?
No,
about?
no,
Oh, okay.
no. This will always exist. Hopefully, Bitcade will always exist. But there might be spiritual successors, brothers and sisters that might be arriving soon. So it's the family gathering, but you've only seen like the brother, and we're about to see the sister coming soon. Anyway, so my name is Ryan Emore. This is,
I am David.
and yeah. This is the Bitcade crew. We're back to 2 people. Riley
Yeah.
was not allowed back. It just didn't work out.
Mm-mm.
I don't think we had a good time last time.
We just couldn't stand that sass.
Yeah, exactly. There's only enough that you can take for a while, and then it's just, man,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Maybe we'll let him back.
Yeah,
We'll
maybe
see.
one of these days. With all seriousness, it was a good episode, so go check it out.
Yeah,
14.
yeah. Riley was fantastic.
But we've got a few topics today to talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
We're going to talk about remastered games. We're going to talk about surprised sleeper games, and we're talking about our Q1 recap, because as of recording this, it's March, but by the time this is all said and done, it'll probably be beginning of April. But either way, the quarter will be wrapped up, all said and done. It's been a good 2018, but we'll get to that
So
later.
far, yeah.
Yeah. So, for the first topic, remastered. This is your topic.
And remake.
And remade. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we talking about
So-
in this part?
So, as I'm sure you are aware of the company, and I'm sure some of our viewers are aware, there is a company out there who goes by the name of Bluehole.
Yes, they
Bluehole.
do.
They do pretty much their repertoire has pretty much been remakes and remasters. What this topic is all
They
about.
make games look pretty.
Yeah, they make games look pretty for the next generation.
Mhm.
Recently they just released Shadow of Colossus, which is the first game that they made from the ground up using assets that they created, I believe, from scratch. I believe it's the first one that they've done where they haven't used anything from the previous game. I
okay.
think I could be wrong.
Did they do the Uncharted games too?
They did the Uncharted, but that
Yeah.
was just a remaster. It's just like an 8 performance boost.
Yeah, like skin change.
Yeah,
like, it looks
higher
better.
resolution.
Yeah.
They also did just a quick recap for them. They did Gravity Rush
Okay.
from the PSP to the PS4. They did the Uncharted
Vita.
collection. Oh, sorry, Vita. Yeah. It's a fun game.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
no, I
playing
had
through
it
right
on
now.
Vita.
I'm playing through it right now.
Oh,
and
you're playing the other version.
I'm playing the one on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
My only issue with it is like you could tell it's a handheld game. So there's a few. Yeah, big guy wants some attention. But it's one of those things where it's like you can tell it's a game made for a handheld, but other than that, it's not bad. The story is it doesn't have like enough meat for like a console game, but I'm still enjoying it anyways.
Yeah, that's fine.
Back to the topic. Gravity Rush. They did The Last of Us remaster. Nathan Drake collection. They did the PlayStation 3 Metal Gear Solid HD collection.
So they've been mainly hanging around with PlayStation.
They primarily do PlayStation, yeah. Well, there was this big hoopla with them after after Shadow of Colossus because they did a big hire basically. So people are thinking, oh, they're gonna start doing their own thing, which they totally could. But it turns out, as they just revealed, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, they're doing another from the ground remake like Shadow of Colossus.
Okay. Oh, so there's no game that they've announced.
They
just
haven't announced
yet.
the
It's
game,
just,
no.
okay,
but
alright.
the rumors are. So I'm just putting this out for as I'm just saying this again. This is just
as
rumors.
of March 2018.
Yeah,
these are the rumors.
These are rumors, speculations. As of right now, people are rumoring that they're gonna do a complete remake of Metal Gear Solid, the PlayStation 1 Metal Gear Solid.
Interesting.
I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's a good choice, and it would be one I'm all down with. Here's the problem that I have with it. It's a Konami game.
Yeah.
Konami's not the
people you want to be in bed with right now.
Exactly. And I don't know, like it just I think Blue Point can do better than dealing with Konami.
Yeah.
Did
you mention Bluehole in the beginning of the game?
What did I say? Bluehole?
Yeah, because Bluehole's the PUBG guys.
Right, Bluehole's PUBG.
Yeah, I've just realized that because when you said Blue Point, I was like,
it's Blue Point.
Wait, I knew who you were talking about. Yeah, and their logos look almost exactly the same. Like, I mean, when you think of it in your mind, you're like, oh, what is Blue Point? And Blue Point's the one that has the last P, or the point looks like a blue crescent or like
something like that.
So
yes, Blue Point.
Bluehole is the PUBG team.
That's my fault.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably people.
Yeah, there's already people in the comment section below right now, but it's okay.
We figured it out. Get to.
So delete the comment.
Yeah, I was gonna say get to minute 6 and you'll see we figured it out. Right? So they're thinking that Blue Point's gonna go in and from the ground remake Metal Gear Solid, which I think is a fine choice. The only problem is, again, you're getting in bed with Konami, and that's not the company, really, in my opinion, especially with the release of Metal Gear Survive and all the other stuff that they've done. I don't think it's a good choice. Yeah, because I don't think anybody really wants to support Konami right now.
I mean, people didn't even buy the latest one because it
Metal Gear Survive.
No, not that one.
Phantom Pain.
Yeah, because even though it was still Kojima, they didn't want to buy it because of Konami.
Yeah. Yeah, there really, honestly, other than the engine, there isn't really any Kojima in the game, to be honest with you. As somebody who's played through most of it, I never even finished it. I lost interest maybe halfway through.
That explains why it was like $8 when I bought it.
Yeah, I bought it for like 15 or something like that. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy it. Like the game's engine and stuff is fantastic, but like the story is and the way it's set up as like episodes, I didn't.
Oh, they did that. Okay.
Well, yeah, it kind of ruined the narrative because there was each episode when you start a mission, it starts out and there's an intro credits, and you can see it's like, oh, I'm gonna face Metal Gear in this episode because it says Metal Gear in the opening credits.
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh look, this is finally the episode where I find Otacon because it says Otacon's voice actor parentheses Otacon before you even start the mission. Like it takes out.
Oh, they pull the credits in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They do like an opening credit scene for each mission, and it
so they Mission Impossible
spoils
you.
It.
They Mission Impossible you.
Basically,
because like for those that have never watched Mission Impossible, if you watch the beginning part of Mission Impossible, they show you everything that's gonna happen in the movie.
Yeah.
The whole intro part is literally the whole movie.
Yeah.
And then then you watch it, and then I'm like that's one of the movies that I'll skip the intro because I'm like, nope, I don't want to see it. Don't want to see it. Fast forward.
Yeah, and for me, part of what I love about Metal Gear series is you never know what's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You never know how the story's gonna go, and with these credits, you can figure it out just by seeing what characters you're gonna encounter.
Yeah.
But needless to say, I never finished that game, and I personally hope it's not Metal Gear. If it was my choice. I know I'm probably wishing a lot here. I would like to see them remake Demon Souls.
That would be good. It's Atlas at that point.
I know.
Then you'd have to, even though PlayStation company still, but there would be like three companies that they'd have to go.
Right. Just like I mean, it wouldn't be all that far or different from Shadow of Colossus because.
So wait, before we go into this.
Yes.
You were. Like when we were writing this topic down, one of the things that you wanted to go was, how do we feel about the remakes? So do you want to answer that question before you go into? Obviously, we kind of know what you're getting at, but So remakes, yay or nay? Remakes, remastered, yay or nay?
I think so. Yes, I think remasters and remakes are good if the core structure of the game stays the same.
Okay.
I have a couple examples of like good ones and some bad ones,
Okay.
things like that. But just I guess I did get a little off the topic because
No, it was good.
I'm excited to see like what they're gonna do.
But yes, you were talking about Demon Souls would be one of those games that you would love to see on PlayStation 4.
Yeah, because I don't think Demon Souls got the limelight that I think it should have. It still is probably one of like it's probably I think the Souls game that people have played the least number of people have played. Just because it's a Sony exclusive.
Yeah, and that it was when no one really knew what they were doing over there. I mean, we didn't know what they were doing.
Right,
kind of
the game was new, and I think now would be a perfect time,
especially since it's all
to bring that back.
Yeah,
I think that would be the best game to bring back right now, especially for this generation. Even though it would still probably be a Sony exclusive, so many people know about the Soul series.
Yeah,
that
but it's I think no one would complain if it was PlayStation exclusive, though.
Yeah, I mean, nobody did. Yeah, like nobody. Yeah, I don't think anybody.
Especially if they're the ones working on it.
Yeah,
because they'd be like, okay, that's understandable. It's all PlayStation companies coming together, like Atlas coming in, even though they're not exclusive of PlayStation, they're very much with them. Because like they're definitely not with Xbox.
They do some stuff with Nintendo.
Yeah. They're it's mainly the Japanese companies stick together because I mean they're a Japanese company. So
but I'm excited to see when they finally announce what it is. If they say it's Metal Gear Solid like the rumors say, I mean, cool.
Yeah.
But I would love to see something else.
So since you brought up Bluepoint,
I
would love to see them make a God of War recreation.
See, I think that would be awesome too.
Because like I was as somebody that so my thing is I definitely do like the remakes, remasters. Same thing with you though. If things start to feel different, then it's like, okay, this is not the same. This is not the same thing. But if it's like literally just here's this, it looks prettier. Then I'm like, all right, I'm fine with that because when you think in your mind like, oh, this game looks for example, even if we date back to just The Last of Us. Playing The Last of Us on PlayStation 3, I was like, this is a little fuzzy. Like, this is a little not too great. Yeah, like, because, I have both the 4K consoles, so it's when I'm going from those, and then all of a sudden I drop back to the 360 and the PS3. It's like, and even, what I really noticed it in was Batman Arkham Asylum. I was like, oh, I remember this game looking really good, like HD. Like that was what it was. Everyone was ripped out of their mind. Yeah. And 3D, it says on the box. You can play it in 3D. But like, I went back and tried to play that, and I'm like, yikes, this did not hold up at all.
Yeah, you see that resolution.
Yeah.
You see that those nice jagged looking arms, right?
But yeah, I would love to see the Bluepoint make a God of War recreation because the only like HD version of God of War is the PlayStation 3 remake, and you can play that game on the Vita. And it's like I don't want to. I want to, and God of War 1 and 2 are PlayStation 2 games. So when they got ported to the PlayStation 3, they're on one disc. I'm like, yeah. I don't want that. I want like a little bit more of the because that game I remember looked great, but I know if I go back, it's not gonna look great. Yeah. Give me my trophies for God of War. I want them on PS4 now.
But yeah, I just thought Bluepoint. I think for this particular generation, this console cycle really stands out as like the pinnacle. Like this is who you should look up to when it comes to doing your remakes and remasters. Unlike this other particular company called Square Enix.
Ooh, shots fired.
Apparently right now is in all kinds of trouble with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like,
I just saw the news a couple days ago, actually.
Yeah, something about how they're early. Yeah, first of all, I knew when they announced it that I knew it was not going to be the same game. I just knew it wasn't going to be just like a nice, prettier version of 7. I knew Square Enix was going to do something different, and it's going to probably be for the worse. And I don't know, like, if I recall right, they're having to hire like a ton of people because the game, even though they have like those screenshots and they showed in those videos, it still isn't in a playable state at this point. They've been working on it for years.
Yeah. I think Final Fantasy VII was like announced like 4 years ago.
Something
at this
like
point.
that, yeah. And the fact, like when they announced it, I was like, ooh, no. I remember for decades they would say that they would, almost 2 decades they were saying, you know, oh, we'll never remaster it, we'll never remake it for like 15 years. And then when they do, and I'm like, oh, they caved.
Yeah.
And then they said it's going to be episodic, and I'm like, no, like that's not.
Yeah, I wouldn't even see the necessary need to even do that.
Yeah, I mean, like, is it gonna look good? Yeah. Is it gonna play like Final Fantasy VII? No.
No, immediately not.
It's probably gonna play like Final Fantasy 15. That's what I'm assuming.
Did you play 15?
Not yet. I have it. I haven't played it yet, so I'm not gonna bag on the mechanics or anything for a game that I haven't played yet. Okay. So,
because I heard that people that mechanically love 15.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. But I personally have no experience. Yeah. And then another remaster I can think of that didn't turn out so well was the Halo remaster.
You didn't like the Master Chief Collection?
Well,
the 360 version or
no,
like the one version?
The one on the Xbox One, from what I've heard, didn't pan. Again, I haven't played it, but from what I heard is it didn't pan out so well, and they haven't really patched it yet. I think they've just said that they're gonna finally go back and start patching it like now, even though the game's been out for like almost 2 years. Like apparently the game, like the online multiplayer, is in like an unplayable state.
Halo?
Yeah, of the Halo. Not Halo 5, but like the matches. Apparently the online state. Again, I haven't played it, but from what I've heard, the online state of Halo Master Chief Collection is just broken. Okay. And it's been broken.
Yeah, because like when I was, because when I got the Master Chief Collection, you know, I went back and played Halo, and the game looks great, right? But I didn't play multiplayer because I'm not. Again, that's not like my priority. Right. Is I knew what was gonna be pretty, and so I played Halo, and then I got to take a look at Halo 2, which is my favorite Halo game. Yeah, that'd be my favorite Halo game. Yeah. I just played the story. Yeah. I mean, the campaign looks fantastic.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I guess I may have like blocked that part out of the multiplayer situation. Yeah.
But that's what I've heard. So
yeah.
But then, you know, we also have possibly because the Crash Insane Trilogy did so good, rumors have it that now Activision's going to redo Spyro.
Yeah. How are they going to? Well, I guess they still own the property because they do Skylanders with it. But that'd be definitely interesting to see like Spyro being from Skylanders now and getting its port to back its original state when they've already for like the last 6 years have been marketing him as this like kiddie thing, and then now we're going back to old Spyro, which is the better Spyro. That's just the better Spyro. Yeah. That's the only Spyro. Make Spyro better again.
Yeah, make Spyro again. Yeah. But apparently though, that's their next step. Activision's next step is they're gonna do the first 3 Spyro games, which I think is good. Yeah. If they do
3D
it like
platforming,
Crash.
I mean, that's something.
It's not as big as it used to be.
No.
But the thing is everybody, at least my age, I don't know about you, has that like those are like our childhood games.
Yeah, you know? I didn't play Spyro or Crash at the time just because, you know, even though I had a PlayStation 2, like I just
they were PlayStation 1.
I mean PlayStation 1. Oh, okay. Yeah. My dad had a PlayStation 1. I had the PlayStation 2.
I was gonna say, like, that was like a generation behind.
Yeah. But still, that's exactly what I was trying to get to. Was like it just wasn't. Those were not the games I was playing, and that was where it just never really like the games. Man, what was I playing for PlayStation 2? Lots of games. I remember getting like lots of PlayStation 2 games. Games that it was kind of like my 64. But then again, the PlayStation 2, like every game came out for the PS2, so you were I was getting games left and right. But with the PS that's how I kind of treated that console, was exactly how I did 64. My parents did, I guess, was you know, my 64 growing up was the Mario 64 was my main license game, but then I got Pokemon Stadium. I got Diddy Kong Racing, and I got Hey You Pikachu, and like those were my 4 games I constantly kept playing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't. Yeah, I can't really think about the PS2 games that I had. Even the PlayStation 1 stuff, like, but those are mainly my dad's collection.
Yeah, because
so.
I was like a teenager during the PlayStation 1 and the 64 era, so like I remember those games like very vividly. Like I had a Super Nintendo when I was little.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I remember the Super Nintendo really well, but I didn't really like get into gaming until the 64 era. And then with the NES, like we had one, but that was back when it was just like, for me, I rarely played it. So
Speaking of Rare, they did Rare Replay.
I know I have Rare Replay.
How do you feel about?
It's amazing. It's awesome.
So that's when a company makes it themselves.
Yeah.
And would you prefer that the company make it themselves, or do you not mind the whole third party?
I don't mind the third party as long as again they stay true to, because with Rare Replay, in particular, I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot, because I have actually a lot of experience with Rare Replay because I grew, like I said, I was a 64 kid. I played like pretty much all of their 64 titles. Plus, there's more like older titles.
Yeah,
and
very
like
very
old. But like Jet Force Gemini, man, that game on the 64 played completely wonky with the controls. Like C up was to run for, like the left stick. You basically think of the C buttons as an analog stick, like a dual analog stick.
Okay.
Except think of a dual analog stick today.
Yeah.
But reversed. So
that was how Casper on PS2 was. It was reversed movement and camera. Yeah, I don't like that.
So
at
it was
all.
like the left. So your main stick in the middle was like aiming, looking up and down, and turning.
Nope.
And then the C up was run, and C down was go backwards, and strafe was C left and C right.
Yeah.
You get used to it because like Rainbow Six was the same way, and I used to play the crap out of Rainbow Six. Like you get used to it, but the nice thing about Rare Replay is they change up the controllers, all of the controllers for the 64 titles, like Perfect Dark and all that, to work with dual analogs, like now what would be considered traditional analog, where like I'm looking with this one and
yeah.
With that one. You know?
That was when everyone was still trying to figure out, can we do 2?
Yeah. But yeah, I think as long as you stay true to the original, you don't change anything. If you want to add features like like Blue Point, I almost said Blue Point, they add like the camera mode, which is a neat little thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, even with I wrote down over like LA Noire. When it got its remake, first off, the game looks great as 4K, whatever console you're playing on. But the cool thing is switching over to the Switch. They like you said, adding features. And this is when I was like, Rockstar will take their time to make something great. They're not going to half-ass it. They're like, nope, if we're going to put it on the Switch, it's going to be good. And they added the whole feature of like 80% of the game you can do by touching it. And I'm like, that is awesome, because that is something that you can't do on any console. That makes it a reason to play it on the Switch. PS4 and Xbox One,
they just
same.
Look better.
Yeah, they're exactly the same compared to each other, except I guess the resolution technically is better on the Xbox One version, because if you have an X, it's 4K. PS4, it's only like 1440p or whatever.
It's upscaled.
Yeah, but even though they advertise it as 4K. But yeah, those are like the examples of add stuff. Don't take stuff away and replace it with another thing.
Yeah.
Like
don't change the game.
Yeah, if you want to add some cool thing, because like you said, or with the Switch stuff, you didn't have to do the you didn't.
Sorry if that's getting picked up.
It is.
I'm sure the people know what that is by now.
Longtime fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Switch version, you don't have to touch the screen. You can play it like normal. But with those things, it adds to that part.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like Bethesda with the Skyrim. Sure, you can get Skyrim, the remaster on PC for free if you already owned it, or the Xbox One. But if you get it on the Switch, you get basic motion controls.
Yeah, which is new.
And you can get in Link's outfit if you have amiibos. It has amiibo support, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't really change. Doesn't change anything. It just adds to it. You know, which I think was good on their part. No mod support, but I mean, it's Nintendo, so.
And I did have special shout out to Gears of War HD collection now, or the HD remaster. That looks really good
because that's just the first game, right?
Yeah, it's the first one. Nothing really too much to go into, but like, yeah, it's looks like they took their time to make it, and it looks great.
Did a third party make that one? Redo it?
Yeah, Microsoft usually has a third party to make their remasters. Like 343 didn't even do, except for when they say they are. So like the Master Chief Collection, they didn't, or no, the cutscenes they don't do. It's another party, and for the life of me, I know it's someone they use a lot, but I can't remember what it is at the moment. But yeah, they do like all the cutscenes, and you can tell like, holy crap, like that looks really good. Like it looks like a full-fledged movie. Like that's one of those games, kind of like Final Fantasy. When you watch a cutscene, you're like, whoa, like this is like a sci-fi movie. Like this is like full-fledged cutscene. Gears of War just looks all around gorgeous at 60 frames a second on an Xbox One. I didn't get it ever played on my X, but it definitely definitely looked great on the just regular Xbox One. So yeah, I don't know, any last minute words for your topic?
No, not that I can think of. I think we pretty much covered it, and I just feel like as long as they keep like the soul of the game, what it's supposed to be, and don't Square Enix it up.
Yeah.
Then. Yeah, I think right now Square Enix is the perfect example of what not to do, and Bluepoint is the perfect.
They're
example.
Overthinking it. You don't need to overthink it.
Yeah, and Bluepoint is the perfect example of what to do. So I'm excited to hear what their next game is going to be. I really hope it's the Demon's Souls. I doubt it, but I think that's a game that deserves their touch versus a Metal Gear, because they've already done Metal Gear HD Collection. They did it for the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Is it going to be like?
Well, they did.
Are they gonna do exactly what they did with Gears of War, or not Gears of War, God of War, where there's already a collection of it. We're moving on.
Well, the thing is, no, because what I heard is because they did a Metal Gear Solid HD collection of Metal Gear Solid, Sons of Liberty, and Snake Eater.
It's on the Vita as well.
Yeah, they just up the graphics, and then what they're doing with this next one is a complete from the ground up remake, like they do with Shadow Colossus for only the first Metal Gear Solid game. And I don't know how that would work, because one, I think the biggest issue for me is I don't think they'll be able to get the voice actors for it. I don't think David Hayter wants to come back and do Snake,
especially with that company.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Unless they're going to use the old audio, which they could, I guess. But I mean, why?
That's what they did with LA Noire. They used the old audio. Yeah. Sometimes the audio sounds like they're recording them in a bathroom, but
yeah. But that's my I hope that the rumors aren't true. I hope it's not Metal Gear Solid. I think there's other games out there that deserve better.
God of War.
And God of War. Demon's Souls.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Especially that deserve the limelight over Konami.
Alrighty.
Check.
We're moving on to our second topic, which is surprised sleeper. So this is my topic. This is mainly games that you felt like you took a complete chance on, and I'm actually thinking of one right now. But like you took a complete chance on, you had no
expectations.
You looked at
maybe
screenshots at most, and you're like, I don't know about this. So I guess I'll start with this one because it's in my head right now because I didn't write it down. The Saboteur. Did you ever play the Saboteur?
I think I've played the demo of it.
That is a really good game.
I've heard it's not as bad as people like make it out to
be. Got swept under the rug. I don't even know why the game was made, but it takes place during World War II, and you're in Europe during that time. And I don't even remember too much about it, but I remember I played it so much, to the point where so when the 360 was around. Did you ever install your music onto your 360?
No.
Oh, why not? That was
Because
like a cool feature of it.
I didn't have any games that would let me play it.
No,
Underneath.
but what? They
Yeah.
would close them off? I never had a problem like that.
That's what I heard, so I never tried.
Oh, lame. All right. Well, what I did was I would take the CDs and I burn them right onto the hard drive, and then I would listen to music as I play it. But
yeah, I have had friends. I have seen it work. Like I had friends in high school.
Oh yeah, I did it all the time.
Did it, but I never did.
But it's like those so some CDs I remember listening to and playing. Yeah. So every time I listen to a song, I'm like, I remember what I was. So for example, like POD's When Angels and Serpents Dance, when that album came out, I was playing Gears of War 3. So I would just have it on. I would just play through the whole album as I was playing Gears of War 3. So anytime I hear a song from that, I remember Gears 3. But for the Saboteur, it was oh man, do I have my phone with me?
I gotta look because now I know we're getting a little off topic, but I have the same story that I can tell with you.
Well, I used to do that with the PlayStation 2 as well, of where I would be like, I listen to my radio or I have like a CD in there, and play it as I was doing that. So, I want to get the album correct, so that's why I'm kind of like going for it. But yeah, so when I was playing the Saboteur,
excuse us while we're on our phone. We'll keep talking here.
I had Thank Me Later by Drake, his album, because it was the first like explicit album I had. And actually no, that's wrong. I had Akon's Forever album, and I had the explicit version of that, but my mom wouldn't let me listen to it. But then when I was in like middle school, I think is when the Saboteur came out. I finally got it. You know, my mom was like, "Fine, you can buy the album, whatever." So I got that, and so I would listen to that song. So anytime I listen to a song from that record, I remember the Saboteur. I don't remember. I just remember driving around, and the story was okay. It was interesting though. It was a game where you could have a censored version, but there was a code that came with it that would unlock like the uncensored version.
Oh, was it one of those one-time use?
Yes, and I didn't know what it was.
I remember back when they used those.
So all I opened it up was, and I see like there's a code in here. I'm like, oh great. I would read it, and I was like, oh, it just says things you unlock. But what I didn't read was the fact that it unlocked naughty bits. And I was like, I've never seen this in a video game. Because, like, I didn't play God of War because clearly it's in that game.
Yeah.
So that was the first game I ever played that was, like,
that had
that had full-fledged frontal nudity. But, yeah, it was interesting because if you play the censored version of it, everyone has, like, you know, all the women have the little, what do they call? It's just, what do they call those? I can't remember.
Bra?
No, it's covered with like, it's the pasty stuff. They have those on.
Oh, but they pasty.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And then if you have the uncensored version, it is not there. It is full-fledged. And there's a beginning scene of that. So
I remember that era of gaming when to combat used GameCells, there was always a code that came with the game so if you bought a used copy, you would have either
the
content locked or you would have a censor lock.
Yeah.
I remember EA did that with a lot of their games. Like if you bought it used, you didn't have access to the multiplayer.
Yep, they did that for a while, and everyone hated EA for that. I remember when having Madden and that.
Yeah, sorry, continue.
No, go on your thing.
Well, the nice thing though about people hating that is nobody does it anymore.
Yes. So it takes one screw up to make it all.
Yeah, hopefully they're gonna learn. Hopefully them and the game list is gonna learn their lesson about a particular issue going on right now. But we're not gonna get into that.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Saboteur was like a GTA kind of clone, but imagine GTA style sandbox game.
I thought it had like Assassin's Creed elements in it too.
No, you didn't climb stuff.
Oh, okay.
You just kind of faffed about. Like I don't remember. I don't remember too much of it, but like I do remember there is it. I remember driving around, getting in cars, crossing checkpoints, like having to like disguise yourself so that the Nazis don't see you as who you are, because eventually after you start doing things like to In I think you're in Poland. I think that's where you're at, and you might be American. I don't remember.
I imagine you'd probably be British or something.
I don't remember. No, I don't know, cause but yeah. So you're slowly seeing them like escalate the thing. I never beat the game, unfortunately, and I don't have it anymore. But it'd be cool to go back to. Like I might go and try and seek it out. But yeah. So the Saboteur is one of those games for me.
Nice.
I have a few more, but go ahead.
So
give you one.
I'm gonna start with a game that's relatively recent, and you're probably not gonna expect me to say it.
Dark Souls. No, I'm just
Snipper Clips.
Oh, okay, all right.
Snipper Clips is a fantastic little puzzle solving game.
Yeah.
You know, uses physics, and Rebecca and I it was like the first like multiplayer game we picked up because we were waiting for Mario Kart. And we went through it, and like I thought, it's $20. Is a game we can play together. Why not? So we got big guy. So we got it, and it surprised me.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. There were some parts that were a little frustrating, but it was probably just because we were like doing the puzzles wrong and just trying to force it to work. That's kind of how it felt.
Like putting a square in a circle peg, or
a
square peg in a circle hole.
Yeah. And I was also surprised the amount of levels. There's like, I thought, because they show like the levels like all kind of mapped out in like a grid, and I saw that I'm like, there's like 20 or so levels. I guess $20 for 20 or so levels is all right. No, there's like 60.
Wow.
Something like that. I could be wrong, but like there was like 3.
Well, now there's DLC for it, so yeah, there probably might be something close to that.
Yeah, because there's like 3 worlds that you can do, and each of those worlds has like 15 or 20 puzzles in it. And I thought that game for $20, if you want like a nice, cute, fun little puzzle game, I thought it was fantastic.
That's cool.
It's super cute, and I really enjoyed playing that with Rebecca.
Yeah,
if you've got a Switch, I think in my opinion, it's just one of those like must-have co-op games. If you want a good couch co-op and you're like tired of being mad at your friends on Mario Kart, you can be mad at them on Snipper Clips.
Yeah.
Because there were some points where it was like, no, we should do this. No, you need to do this.
Yeah.
No, but I need you to do. So it's like usually you just we got to the point where like we would take turns on the puzzles and be like, all right, you're taking charge on this one. And then the next one, all right, I'm taking charge on this one.
Okay.
So that way we're not like arguing.
Yeah, you had to get the teamwork element going.
Yeah.
It's kind of that's cool.
But I think you can download like a free demo of it. But I'm telling you, for just $20 for a download I think it's only like 2 gigs.
Yeah, well, it's bigger now. I don't think you can buy Snipper Clips by itself anymore. But
it comes with the
DLC, and I think it's a little bit more now. But
because I know the physical cartridge is $30, but you can snag it we snagged it for $20. So
yeah, it's one of those things that goes on sale because it's one of the first games, so it just goes on sale.
But I don't really have much else to say about Snipper Clips other than that, but it really surprised me.
Cool.
And Rebecca and I really enjoyed it. We haven't gone back to play it since we've beaten it. For us, it was just like we just played it just the one time. But it wasn't just like one session. Like it was over like a couple weeks that we played it. But we haven't gone back to play. But it's enjoyable. It's at work. I always tell people like try the Snipper Clips demo. It's fun because everybody comes on and they just play. Zelda, Mario, and Mario Kart. And I'm like, no, there's other games.
Yeah.
You should try Snipper. There's 2 of you here. Play Snipper Clips.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be my first one. I'll go with Snipper Clips.
Okay. I guess my second one is I'll save the one I have written down first for the last one because it's something special. But Alan Wake is another game that I completely slept on because it came out at a bad time.
I'm on board with you on this one. I'm not gonna steal it from you, but you go. This is.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alan Wake is one heck of a special game, and the fact that it's backwards compatible means there's no excuse. You need to go and buy the game. I think it was free for a while.
I think it was on Games for Gold for free at one point, but I think that was a while ago.
Yeah. But yeah, so Alan Wake is truly just one of those Xbox games that's like
a gem.
Yeah, it came out and it got very much no one cared about it because Red Dead was coming out in like a couple months later, or it was already out or something like that.
It was in that. It was no. everybody was comparing Alan Wake to.
What game would that be compared to?
No. It came out at the same time as. Why can't I remember the name?
Do you need to look it up? I can banter.
The Origami Killer.
Oh, Heavy Rain?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, that was it. Heavy Rain was getting all the attention.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Well, I remember it came out on the same time, and it was Sony's big story exclusive
versus Microsoft's
big story exclusive. And I remember.
And everyone jumped with Heavy Rain. That makes a lot of sense.
Everybody just because it was different and all that. And it was at the time.
Who wouldn't want to play a game that's about a writer going through, or that's writing about a writer that's going through the first writer's writings about the writer? Follow that one. But yeah, it's good, and it takes place right here in the Pacific Northwest. It takes place in Washington specifically, and then you see all of these advertisements for Microsoft.
Yeah,
there's a lot of advertising in that game. Like you get Energizer batteries.
Yeah.
You get the car that Alan and I can't remember her name.
They're like red, like SUV.
Well, yeah. It's using Microsoft Sync, which was like their testing grounds for trying to get in the car. I think Sync still exists, but I think it's called something different now. But yeah, you would say like Microsoft Sync, like on the little display pad, but they would never reference it. But yeah, that game was really, really good for like a thriller suspense game. Like there's not very many like suspense games. There's horror.
Yeah.
And
like jump scares.
Yeah, and very jump scary stuff. And not to mention, I mean, that game did have its share, but like it really hit. It's kind of like
psychological. It's like the difference between
it's a Stephen King novel. Well, it's sort of novel.
I was gonna say it's like the difference.
It's not 1-to-1 Stephen King novel, but it is based on those kind of things.
Yeah, it's like comparing 80 like a Mike Myers horror movie to like a Shining
Michael Myers
horror movie.
It being the killer of Halloween.
Right.
Yeah, like because you had Mike Myers and I'm like, wait, where are we going here?
Yeah.
But yeah, because I was like,
Halloween?
So I married
Halloween,
an axe
right?
murderer? No, that was that's Halloween. That's
yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah. But it's a Shining kind of horror.
Yes, very much The Shining is what I get obviously because it's a writer, so I guess that's a very big pickup for that.
Yeah,
But yeah, like man, the game was just so good. Like it was just so good. And like it's one of those things I really do. I want to go back and play it again. That's another game that I just want to go back and experience again. I might play it here on the channel. I got a lot of other things to play.
I remember the moment when you're in like the field and you've got like the rock stage and you've got to like fend off
the rock
and
roll. Yeah, that's right.
Like, fend off the horde. Oh man, that part.
Yeah, that's right.
That part, man.
There's like a cool, and all those achievements are cleverly named too. I think if I remember correctly, like, and then. It was weird how Alan Wake was set up because it was episodic without ever being traditional episodic, like the ones that we know today. It was like one of the first to do that, I guess, because like it had chapters.
Like broke itself up into chapters,
which was interesting. I honestly didn't really care for that, but they always had a cool song at the end. So, and it was like usually it was made for the game. Some I think were copyrighted, but I mean I guess they're all copyrighted, but. Yeah, Alan Wake, just an amazing story game. Like, just you want to go on a thriller, that's just an awesome game. So that's one game I slept on.
All right. This one I don't know. I don't want to say I
You drew a thumbs down on one of your things.
Yeah. I did.
There's an actual thumbs down drawn. Okay, that's pretty good.
So the next one for me, I want to say it was a sleeper for me because I didn't like it wasn't a game that came out and I came back to it or something like that.
I would classify a sleeper as a game that came out and then you totally bypassed, but like a year or two later you went and played it.
Oh, then this one wouldn't qualify for me.
Okay.
It was a game that I got without like any expectations. Just kind of like, sure, I'll try it.
Yeah, I think that's sort of like I guess news-wise, you slept on the news.
I think I'll pass on that one.
Okay, save it for a different time.
Yeah, I'll save it for a different time. This other one, which is I will say a sleeper surprise, is what I'm gonna call a sleeper dud. A surprise in the bad way.
Yeah.
Because I I was pumped for this game. This is kind of the opposite. I was hyped for this game. I was pumped, and it really let me down. And it was a recent release of just this game right here.
Mass Effect. Okay.
Yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda.
I was wondering what MEA, and I was like, all right, I know ME, but yeah, okay.
It's one I wish I slept on.
Okay, yeah.
But
way to tie it back.
yeah. I wish I waited for.
You were blinded.
I was blinded by the Mass Effect.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think you can. I know you haven't seen on camera, but Ryan can see. I went all in on Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, I mean, you got just like one pop vinyl. Yep, you do.
No,
there's like a whole arsenal up there.
I have the whole cast,
yeah,
including
the exclusives,
including the Target exclusive PB, the GameStop exclusive Sarah, and the Best Buy exclusive Sarah. The only one of those I don't have is the regular PB, and that was just because I learned my lesson.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you already had the game at that point.
Yeah, and I won't get into it too much because I'm sure our viewer I mean,
the big letdown.
It's a big letdown. The story was not great.
But you've mentioned it as, if you don't look at it as Mass Effect and you just look at it as the game of Andromeda,
I think
it's fun game.
Better.
It's
yeah.
But you got to take the Mass Effect off of that whole thing.
Yeah, I think if Mass Effect wasn't tied to it, I think it probably would have been received better. Because I think the mechanics in it, mechanically, other than like the cutscenes, but I mean like the combat mechanics are nice and solid and fluid.
Okay.
The story doesn't make any sense, and we all know the hoopla and the memes of the facial animations. You know how my face
is it still broken?
Like, no. They've gone in and fixed the facial animations. It looks like it should have released now. I've gone through and I've played about a third of it since they've patched it, because I went through and beat the whole game before they patched it, and I went through about another third of it after they patched it, and it is significantly better. Like, it looks like how it should have been at launch. Still not perfect, but yeah, that's a game I wish I slept on and waited.
Yeah,
because as the viewers know, as you know, I'm a huge Mass Effect fan, and unfortunately for me, I went way too in. Sometimes
you just it just happens. It just happens. Yeah, you gotta.
And I seriously almost bought like the one with the little art, like with the little car, like the $200 one. I almost did. And now I see those cards, not the RC versions, but like just the regular cars, at like Best Buy for like $50. And I'm like, if that goes down to maybe 25, then maybe
pick it up.
But it's just like, that one. Yeah, as Ryan said, as you saw in my note, there's a big thumbs down next to that one. Yeah, there's an
actual like drawn thumbs down on the thing.
Yeah. So that was one I wish I slept on. Yeah, I thought I would do a little twist.
No, it's good.
I wish I slept on that one, because I probably would have picked it up at this point, considering you can find it for $20 now.
Yeah, and it's on sale like all the time digitally. Well, like, and you can get the deluxe recruit edition
for like $20 or $30.
Yeah, when it's on sale. Yeah. You got anything else for that?
No, I don't think I need to say anything for that. But I thought I would at least represent. See, I bought this even before the game came out.
Yeah. Everyone looks at you and go, "Oh man."
There's a reason why. There's a reason why I rarely wear this one.
Yeah.
But I was like, part of the Mass Effect games are the hoodies. I have my Tally hoodie for the first series, and now I have this for what this game turned out to be.
Yeah.
This is a comfortable hoodie. Like, I like it.
Do you want to do one more? Like, I have one more.
I can't think of another one.
Okay. Maybe if you come up with one after I do mine, then we'll see how.
Yeah, fine.
So my next one is it's a surprise for myself, I guess, and for the audience, because everyone would go like, no, how can that be? Is Disneyland Adventure is a really fun game. When you step back and go, here's what you need to do in order to enjoy that game. You need to be a Disney fan. If you're not, you will give no crap about it, and you will honestly just pass right. You can pass right by it. Don't worry about it. This is not the game for you. Number 2, it's a kid's game. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, keep that
It
in mind,
repeats itself several times. Like, it's not the 10 out of 10 game that you would expect it to be. It's very good though. It is it is not like it's maybe a 7 or an 8 like in my books right now. I have to beat the game for it. There's a couple times where it irritates me though, cuz like the first mission that a lot of people know, because when you look up the game, this is exactly what you see from the very beginning. Mickey, so there's different types of missions, and there's only about 4 or 5 different types of things. There's the go and do this for me missions that I like to call. There's
the fetch quest.
Yeah. No. There are fetch quests
okay.
where it's like, go collect these things for
okay.
me. And then there's the ride missions. And then there's just the rides that you can just ride on, and it is exact simulation of that ride. So, for example, the go do this for me missions consists of the very beginning. You meet Mickey Mouse in front of Sleeping Beauty's castle. You don't go down Main Street. You pop right into Cinderella's or Sleeping Beauty's castle, which is fine. It's whatever. But I'm like going through the game, like point A to point B, wherever the gold little trail takes me. I'm going to those, even though it doesn't require you to. I just do that anyway. So Mickey goes, "Hey, here's an autograph book. Can you go get Donald's autograph?" So, and that's all he tells you, and you're like, "All right, cool." So you go to Toontown, which is where Donald's house is, and he's standing right in front of it, which like he always does at the theme park. And you can get an autograph from him. So you get the autograph, and then you walk back to Mickey, which is in front. If you've been to Disneyland, walking from Toontown to Sleeping Beauty's castle is a bit of a walk. So anyway, I go back
is it like
to
the scale to your character.
It is very 1-to-1.
Okay.
But there's some things where it's like kind of shrunk down, like a bridge is a little bit shrunk, or like the drawbridge is a little bit smaller than what it normally would be. But it's very much the same as Disneyland.
So I gotta ask, is there like AI all over the place, or is it just like a big empty ghost town?
No. There's AI all over the place.
Oh, okay.
And there's sometimes where I'm like, they'll sometimes throw in more AI in a certain area, and I'm like, this is real Disneyland right here. I'm like, this is exactly how it would be. Or I'd want to go on like a ride, and like the line is, it's a ride I can't actually ride, because it's like that where they didn't put it in the game. It's there, but it's not able to be ridden.
Right.
So, like, for example, Storybook Land, whatever that ride is called, I call it that because it says right on the flower bed. But there's a line that you can like stand in, but it doesn't move, or like, it doesn't. You just can't ride it, which is weird because it's a pretty simple ride if I remember. But anyway,
those important ones in there.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so after you go get the autograph from Donald, you have to go back to Mickey, and then Mickey goes, "Oh yeah, I need you, but this autograph book's not for me, it's for Goofy." And Goofy was standing right next to Donald, and you're like, "What the heck is this?" And so you have to go back to Toontown, and you have to go talk with Goofy and give his stuff back. So there's things like, I haven't had a stupid mission like that. That is the very like first thing, and it's a very turn off point. But when you like progress through it, like sometimes the fetch quest would be, Ariel's mission is, "Hey, I need you to go find like a couple dingle hoppers for me," which are forks for those non-Disney folk. So you go around and find all the dingle hoppers. You come back, you give it to her, and call it good. And she's like, "Oh, thank you," blah blah blah. And then there's the ride attraction levels that have each chapter. For the first one you do is the Matterhorn, and there's like levels on the Matterhorn. You go to the Matterhorn where it normally would be at Disneyland, and you would ride it. And then by doing that, there's chapters in it, and you get to like ride a bobsled, or have a snowball fight with the abominable snowmen that took Goofy. It's all explained. Just, that's how it works.
Oh, okay. Because I don't remember that ride.
Yeah, no. It's very different. Like, obviously they've added a story to it, and then like made it video gamey. And even those have they're kind of the same. Also, another thing to know, it's a Kinect game. Like, it is a Kinect game on the 360 that got ported to, tying it all back to the first topic, that got ported to the One, and in the One version, they took that you can still use the Kinect, but they put the controller option there. The problem with that is there's times where like, you have to like match something, and it does it itself. Like it'll just do it automatically. Like you don't get to adjust your guy. He just boom. That's how like the counter will go down, and you won't be able to do anything on your controller. And you're like, why can't I do anything? And then all of a sudden it just goes boop, and it pops back into like in the form he's supposed to do. But yeah, I mean it's a fun game. Like I as a Disney fan, as I'm wearing the Tower of Terror shirt, and I've worn several Disney shirts in the past.
Isn't that now?
Is that Guardians? Yeah, this was the Disney Vacation Club, or the annual pass holder exclusive shirt for the final checkout.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's, but this is a hidden Mickey.
Yeah, I see it.
You see that? I have the final checkout shirt as well, which does say January something 2018 is like the last time that you could write it. But I bought it before that date. So, but yeah, it's a fun game if you like Disney, and it's coming soon right here to the channel. So there's so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I actually really do like the game. I felt like I wanted to get it, and I didn't really know what else to do with it, or like if I was to ever get it, like, would it be worth my money? Pulled the trigger on it. Yeah. I think it was a good purchase, so I like it.
That's good.
Yeah. Did you have a third game?
I did think of one. It was a game we mentioned earlier.
Okay.
And so, surprise, surprise, going back to the remasters, there's going to be old Demon Souls.
Oh, okay. All right.
I had a PlayStation for a while, and I remember watching like the E3, intros and videos for it. And I'm like, oh, that looks so cool. And this was back like when, I don't know, I don't really recall much like word of mouth about the particular game. Like I went in when I finally picked up this game. When I picked up this game, it had become a PlayStation, like top seller. So it was like $20 in like the red case.
Yeah, it was already. I mean, I have that case. I still have that game because it's your
I let
copy.
you borrow it.
Yeah,
I
it's your
let
copy.
you borrow it.
Yeah.
You still got it. And for me, like I had never played a game like that. I just thought it looked cool, and I went all in, and I was surprised. I don't think I can recall getting so frustrated at a game before that.
Did you break a controller at any point in
No.
time?
Oh no. No. I don't get that mad. I'm not that. The only time
Christian got that mad sometimes.
The only times controllers have ever broken from me is I have broken 2 Xbox One controllers, and that's because I was playing Lucio. Remember when that happened in the middle of the stream? Yeah, because with Lucio, I map his A in Overwatch is jump, and for Lucio, jumping such a huge part of his how he is as a character, his mechanics as a character, that in order to keep my thumbs on both sticks, I mapped his jump to left bumper, and I'm pushing that button while I'm playing him so fast. I've had 2 controllers left bumpers fall out of the controller on me. One of them was live on a stream when we were all playing together, and so that's the only time I've ever really have had 2 controllers actually break, other than just like my thumbsticks in the 64 being so loose you can't use them.
Mine are still okay.
But yeah, Demon Souls, man, that game, especially considering my very first time ever playing through a Souls game, I did it the even harder way. Not knowing because I didn't use sword and shield. I went dodgy, roll around, dual wielding, and that's if you played a Souls game, you know that is the much significantly harder way to go about a game. Not having a shield in that game is like not having any sort of like insurance policy or anything like that, because it's just like you have like. But I beat that whole game with that character. The only time I needed to use a shield ever was there was a spider boss in a mine. You have to have a shield for that fight, like just because of the mechanics of the fight. Like there's a specific attack to where like you have to get hit by the attack, because it's like it attacks you, and then there's a very small window for you to attack it. And if you don't have a shield, like you have to, if if you're not in its face to absorb those attacks, by the time you get up there to try and attack it, you're dead. So that's the only time in that game I've ever had to use a shield. And that, I think, was the most frustrating fight for me because I didn't know I had to use a shield. And so I spent like hours going after this spider boss with no shield, just getting my ass kicked.
Did you ever beat it without it?
No.
Oh,
no.
You had to.
You cannot beat this fight without a shield.
Huh. Interesting.
At least to my knowledge, there's probably somebody out there who hasn't. But for me and everybody I know that have played it, because I've always told people about that, and they're like, "Why didn't you ever use a shield? That's so much harder." I'm like,
I didn't know. Yeah, there was no websites I could look at.
Yeah, like things. Yeah, the internet it wasn't quite
it
what
was there,
is now.
but yeah.
It was there, and you could like look up stuff, but like it wasn't quite as information sharing as it is now. But interesting enough fact though about Demon Souls is I've beaten the final boss without a shield. My second playthrough I did with a shield. I couldn't beat him.
Huh.
I couldn't beat him, and I still haven't beat him on my second character using sword and board, and I don't know why, but yeah, but that game is it's one of those games that, like I said, I hope Bluepoint remasters just because it deserves all the credit that the Soul series has right now. Like it deserves to be known as just that achievement of like of birthing this Soulsborne genre now, because it's really good, and it was such like a breath of fresh air because I'd never played something on that particular era of consoles that was like, oh, you're gonna attack when you should have blocked, you're dead. You know, it's not. I always tell people, when people always ask about it, like at work or something, when it comes to the Souls games, like, I hear they're hard. I always tell them, the game's not hard. It's precise.
Yeah.
It's precise, it's precision, it's timing, and it will punish you for mistakes. It's not that it's hard. It's just, it's trial and error till you learn the mechanics, and then it's executing it properly. And some of the fights, like, you can usually, like a boss, you can usually take maybe 2 or 3 hits, but in some, you get hit once or you get stunned, or like that's it. Mm-hmm. Like, it took me forever. Like, there's one boss where, like, the big giant knight, you open the door and he's just in your face. He's in your face. He's like 4 times bigger than you are. And then around the courtyard that you're in are archers that are shooting at you.
Oh.
And before you, so like when you pass, because you pass through the fog gate, right?
Yeah,
you step in and you can't, and you're going through this animation. And while you're in this animation, he's prepping a swing, and there are already arrows shooting at you before you even have control of your character. So it's like instant roll, and then you got to run up and take out the archers first while they're all shooting at you. There's like 12 of them. And then you go down and hopefully do your best to take out that knight.
Yeah, maybe I should just give you the PS3 and then let you go at it on that game, just to have you walk through it, memory lane.
Oh, man. I mean, I could probably... See, the thing with the Soul series is once you understand the engine and you know the fights...
Did you get Bloodborne?
I did download Bloodborne, yeah. I haven't played it yet, but I did download it. But I always tell people, once you learn the engine, because the engine's basically the same, and you learn the boss mechanics, the game's pretty easy. Like, I went through Dark Souls 3, and I think the average deaths that I had per boss was 2, except for I think it was an optional boss, where he's on a mount, and he flies. You fight him, like, in the clouds. And the only reason why I had a hard time with him is in phase 1 he goes on this like dragon and will fly around. And the problem is one of the things that the game doesn't do well is its camera can be a little clunky.
Yeah.
And so you can lock onto a target and it feels and it reacts just like locking on to a target in the Zelda games, like in Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild. If you can lock on, I think you can lock on Breath of the Wild, and it functions very similarly. Like you can circle around them and all that.
Yeah, you're like locked on, and you're just like
you're doing that. Yeah, and And the problem with this boss is he comes down, and that's like when you can attack him. But when he takes off, that focus that you have on him, that lock breaks. And the problem is the camera doesn't quite look up high enough. So like you gotta instantly look up, and you have to find him. But the problem is while you're trying to find him, he's throwing like lightning bolts at you, and those lightning bolts are basically, I don't think they one shot you, but when you get hit, you get stunned, and then odds are you're gonna get hit again, and you're gonna die. And I think it took me 11 or 12 tries to beat just that specific boss, just because of that one issue. That one issue was the most frustrating thing in Dark Souls 3 ever, just because losing your target in Dark Souls is bad.
Yeah.
Is bad, especially when he takes up and you can't really even look at him. You know, you just have to guess, well, do I roll now? Oh, nope, I'm dead. Okay,
Yeah.
well, do I roll now? Oh, no, I'm dead. Do I roll? Oh, no, I'm dead. You know, that's kind of how that was. And getting him to phase 2 was tricky, because phase 2 was fair. I think in the times I did get him to phase 2, I think it took me 3 or 4 tries from phase 2. But getting to phase 2 for me was the hard part, just because of that camera. But Demon Souls, play it.
Yeah.
Especially if
Word.
especially if you've liked, you know, there's so many people that have played like the Soul series, but they haven't played Demon Souls. It's Demon Souls will probably always be my favorite in the series, probably just because it was my first.
That might be your February game. I mean, not your February game, your April game.
Yeah.
Where I just drop it off, just let you borrow the PS3 for a while. It just sits there next to me, so.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that game. I think the story in it was good. I especially like the fact that like you can't get invaded in your first playthrough because I mean
now it's probably shut down, so.
I know they shut it down and then they brought it back up, but it might be down now.
And then who else would be there?
Like, yeah,
that's the other thing. It's like playing Journey.
There might be down now.
There's no one there right now.
Oh no, I bet you there's still. If the servers are up, I'm sure there's people playing it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I hate to cut you off, but we do have to move on.
All right.
To our third and final topic. Go ahead. Boom. Done. All right. Our third topic is our Q1 recap. So this is just in the sense of video game wise, I guess. Just what we've been personally doing. This isn't the games that have come out, just what we have been playing personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote down a few things. Like, I've been playing LA Noire, which is a new series that'll be coming out pretty soon, and just a little bit after your game that you've been playing this last month. Yeah, I mean that's.
Which should be hitting the channel soon, hopefully.
Very, very soon.
Hopefully, yeah.
I think by the end of this video, by when this topic is posted, it will probably be out.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's 3 weeks.
Yeah,
you don't think
you're
gonna be?
I know.
I was like, that's 3 weeks from now. But yeah, so yeah, I've been playing a little bit LA Noire. I love that game, and Rockstar took very nice care of it, and like they always do. I've been playing on Xbox One, and so I get to see the Elgato dumbs games down when it's being like. So I have a 4K TV, but it doesn't mean anything. Like when the Elgato's plugged in, it dumbs it to 1080. But the cool thing is when it's at 1080 and on the Xbox One X, it runs 60 frames a second. And oh boy, looking nice.
Oh, I bet.
I will tell you, there's some parts like the face stuff. They didn't really change that because like that would take a long time. That's full on facial animation at its finest. I've never seen it in any other game as perfectly done as how they do it. Sure, it looks a little bit dated because it just looks like they took the 360 version and they threw it over. They probably touched it up a little bit, but it looks. You can't really do anything with it because
they have to redo all of it. But they're not going to do the resources for that.
And the thing is like that game is so based on looking at somebody and telling if they're a liar. And then so yeah, if they messed it up, it would have made
different
real big deal.
You're basically playing a different game almost.
But the game does look great. You can definitely tell there are times where they're like, if there are people in a distance, they'll slow them down. Like in frame rate, they'll look a little bit choppier. But then the closer you get to them, the more fluid they start to get. and I think that's to make it so that the resolution looks great, and then the frame rate is also upscaled. But yeah, I've been playing some LA Noire. How many games do you have written down, or you planning on saying 3?
I can just chat
games?
about what I've been playing.
Yeah. I mean, what are you like 3 different topics? Because I have
sure, that's fine.
Okay.
No, I just kind of was taking the time to just talk about whatever.
Yeah. I guess I'll just say one more game because I mentioned it before, so I could toss it out there. I've been also playing Disney Adventure, which again I just talked about in the last topic, but I really like it as well, and that is coming soon. So stay tuned for that because I got some big plans for it. So.
I won't say anything.
Yeah. It's oh man, I can't wait. I hope it turns out really good. But anyway, what do you got?
So recently, as Brian was mentioning earlier, right now I've been playing through Shadow of the Colossus. I'm really enjoying it. There are
on the PS4.
On the PS4,
the remake.
Yeah, the Blue Point
remake. Man, tying it all back together.
Yeah, look at that. Look at us. It's like we know what we're doing now.
Yeah, we don't need Riley.
The game is gorgeous. There are probably going to be things that I might, like I said, I'm recording it. We finally got a capture card for me, so I'm recording it. Hopefully we'll get it. Hopefully we will have some of it posted before this comes out. That's the goal.
Yeah.
And the game is gorgeous. I mean, sure, it's kind of a big, empty world, to be honest.
It's what it was. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't expecting human beings walking around now,
but like I'm traversing from like, from the central structure out to the colossi, and there's just always something that I'm looking at and just like, oh, like I want to stop and look at it. There's one point where I do actually stop and look, but everything else is like, nope, I just gotta go. Like I'm looking and it's just like this beautiful cliff face, or there's this gorgeous waterfall. There's this one like Niagara. There's one spot where it's like this Niagara Falls style waterfall. It's just massive, and I actually stop and look at it, and you can hear me, and I'm just like, just drooling all over.
One thing that I really like is through your gameplays, you named each episode after the colossi you're fighting.
Yeah,
I'm really excited to see like all the names that you have.
Yeah, and apparently I guess I missed one too. Like
you missed the Colossus?
No, I missed the naming one.
Oh, okay.
So, because there were some that like kind of look similar. So there's there's like a couple that look like snakes, and I don't know if they're like placeholders or if they're like actually snakes, because they have like, so inside the temple, there's like, they almost look like tiki style statues. They're massive, but they're like in this like compressed, almost Funko Pop style statue of each one, so you can't really tell what they look like.
Oh yeah, in the beginning of the game. Okay, yeah.
And so I just kind of run by all of them, and I just give them a quick name, just going off by first impressions. And some of them I name are nothing at all
what they look like.
Yeah, but I go with it.
Yeah.
But there's a couple that look like they're snakes, and so since they look similar, I figured, oh, these probably aren't colossi. They're probably just like a placeholder spot, because there are some I think that already had like a couple like already crumbled like colossi in them.
Oh, okay.
If I remember right off the top of my head. And so I just kind of, and apparently I just kind of passed on one, but it was an actual like boss. So like I'm like, oh, that's a colossi that I didn't name. So I just name right there.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, there's a few things in that game that frustrate me that by now you will know. It's the horse mechanics are
from the very beginning you were irritated with it.
Oh, every time I'm on the horse, every time
that's why his name's Aggro.
On the horse, every time I'm on that goddamn horse,
yeah,
I am like cussing from point A to point B. Because as long as you're going in a straight line, it's fine. But the second you have to turn just the slightest, it's nope. Oh, full stop.
Oh, and
I'm like, going. So like something like debris or a clipping issue or something, full stop. And I'm like, come on. And then what's the other one? Oh, the water. Oh god, water swimming in that game. It's so bad. I mean, like at least you can go in the water, because this is the game when this game came out. This was back when the era of like
Assassin's Creed was
in the
out.
Water. You were a superhero.
Dying.
You can't swim.
Yep.
Yeah. But
I didn't know Batman's a secret. You can't swim.
Yeah, exactly. But like it's so slow. like hopefully the video again, this other video I think it would be like episode 3 is out, and I know I will cut it because there's this jump where I have to go from jump this gap and grab this ledge, and if I don't, I fall into like this lake, and to just try again is like a 3-minute swim. And I think I failed like twice.
Oh, so it was just you had to do it over again.
It's like literally like 10 minutes of me falling, swimming, running back up, falling, swimming, and running back up. And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Couldn't you have fixed this?
Yeah.
But
that's how it was. That's how the game was.
I know. I'm glad like they stay true to it. But man, the horse and the swimming. No, there's one of the colossi. That's in water.
Yeah.
Like you have to swim. And I'm like, that whole thing, it's probably the longest Colossi fight. Like I'm gonna have to cut out a lot of it because it's the hands down the longest Colossi fight that I've had to do because there's so much. Oh, it's over there. All right.
Like just trying to get over.
Yeah. And then I'm almost there and it starts going this way and then I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully I get that started going on the channel soon. But I'm really enjoying it overall. Like my experience with it is 100% positive, minus those 2 gripes. But you'll hear it.
Well, again, not to cut you off too short, but we got just a little bit of time left, so gonna plow right through a couple more things here. I've been playing. Stream-wise, GTA, obviously, that's a staple that we did here. And then in PUBG. And
how do you like that PUBG?
PUBG, I like PUBG.
You played on the computer?
I did play it on the computer, but I have not in a long time. Like, I bought it at PAX, and just so I can...
I think that would be... As I'm sure the PC version is much better, I think I would rather play it on the Xbox just because you're not gonna have the cheater problem.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Like,
I just
to be real.
Yeah. No. I definitely like it on the Xbox. They are seeking out people to ask about what they want to do with it. Because I got an email like a month ago asking me like how I feel about PUBG and if there was anything I would change, like what would it be, and I said implement the D-pad a lot more. It's a slow game. Like, you're making it slow, and the game is not slow. It's very, very fast.
I feel like all the menus in that game on with a gamepad, I think would be...
Oh, yeah, because you have to stand there, pause, look at everything, grab everything, run off. Like, that is... You don't have time to look at stuff as much as... Because it's not as fast to get out of it and to get in it.
Right.
Because like in the PC version, you're able to just go click, boom, brrr, done.
And done. Yeah.
But like with the Xbox version, you have to click over to the you open up the box when you kill somebody. You have to slide over. You have to go down, or no, their box is here. You have to go click everything that you want, and then go over. If you want to equip stuff, you have to click things and equip them over. It just is. It's a little janky, and they need to help that. And then also switching weapons is a little bit first-person shootery. And like I wrote in one of the things that I would like, I was like, implement the D-pad more, and like how Gears of War does it. Like that, I feel would make PUBG faster and shaves off seconds. And those seconds could be life or death. And so it'd be cool to like switch guns by your D-pad. They have implemented the D-pad though with other things, so if they do that now, it'd be like completely changing some of the stuff. But I don't know anyone that would like complain about it.
You could always go over there and play that Fortnite battle royale.
I
with all the
do not like Fortnite, and a lot of people. I just saw a post on Facebook that actually irritated me.
Yeah.
Somebody said it was somebody on Facebook that was posting a picture of a tweet, which is weird in itself. But the guy. I understand how sincere he was about it, but he mentions that Fortnite brought people together in a play style that has never been done in a long time since like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and that he appreciates Fortnite for bringing a genre like this to the masses kind of thing. And I'm like, first off, Screw that guy, because PUBG is the reason why Fortnite even exists right now. And all that Epic did was they just were like, this game sucks. It's not selling. Throw this in there. It's free. Everyone downloads it. The only reason why that game is successful, as I believe, honestly, is it's free.
Well, yeah, that's like how, well, it's like I call it the Angry Birds effect, where you make the game free.
And then everyone gets it, and then everyone knows about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have the mechanics of Fortnite, whatever. I am not a fan of I have to build crap to, like, experience the game, because it's speed at that point. I've seen people build, like, these tower things in, like, 5 seconds of, like, they have this big giant tower. And then, like, people will, like, climb up and, like, just sit on, like, 40 feet in the air. And, I don't know. It just, to me, that is more, and it's faster. I get that. Like, I get how it's a lot faster than PUBG.
I feel like I think it's more console friendly.
Yeah. And, well, the game itself is very, like, revolved around speed. Like, the game, I think, only lasts like 15-20 minutes. A PUBG match could last a half an hour to like 45 to an hour. But it to me, it doesn't seem as, I mean, PUBG is whatever, but it doesn't seem as realistic as how PUBG is. But the thing is I prefer PUBG way over Fortnite, and some people will fight on it, and it is the thing of, like, are you Marvel or DC?
Yeah,
I am definitely PUBG on this whole thing through and through. I like the art style of Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it ends. I don't like the gameplay style. I don't like the fact that they're the reason why, like, they're stealing these kind of things of, not stealing the idea, but stealing more of the notoriety of them creating this genre, when PlayerUnknown was the reason why this genre exists, and not PUBG. He did it in H1Z1 and then made it into his own game. That's the person that you should be thanking, not the guys at Epic. Even though I have nothing against Epic Games, because they, again, made Gears of War, but it's like, these are not, they pulled literally a last minute parachute at out of a game that was not gonna sell. No one was gonna buy this game, and then they put this free thing in, and then boom.
Do you know how long Do you know how long Fortnite was in development for?
Yeah, they announced it like 2013 or something like that.
Like 2011.
Oh yeah, really that far?
It's been like 6 years.
And I've even heard people. When I watched it, that announcement at E3, it was when Minecraft was around.
Yeah.
They announced that it was gonna be a Minecraft type of game, and that's what Fortnite was going to be. So when you're sitting there and you're telling me, like, they had this plan this whole time, they never had this plan until the PUBG was getting around on Twitch, and then they were like, well, we could throw it in, might as well, right? But
I think I don't know. I'm you'll be surprised how many moms I have coming to work, and they're all like, I'm looking for Fortnite.
Yeah, I think Fortnite is very much has stolen the Minecraft era. Like, they're the new era. And what pisses me off is they are the, what would they be? I'm trying to think of, like they're the company that didn't make the idea, but they capitalized on it. And they're smart on it, because as a business, like, that makes total sense of what they did. But it just sucks that people are looking at it as the pinnacle of, it's bringing people together again, and I'm like, no, fuck you. Like, that is not the game that brought people together. Like, it just irritates me how, like, I don't know. I guess what happened was that Fortnite is taking the people that don't care about games again, that don't care about games at all, and they just play it as a hobby. Like, they don't care about it, and now this is the game that they're playing. Because I remember, like, at work, there are people that don't play anything other than Fortnite. And I'm like, you realize there's, like, you have a PlayStation 4. You have, like, all of the exclusives right now, and like, you're not playing any of them.
It's like the people that just play Call of Duty every year.
I think it's those fans, too.
Well, I call them the frat bro gamers.
The frat bro. That's very much the Fortnite.
Because it's like, when people say, like, what are the games that, that even, like, when somebody says, oh yeah, I play video games, and they're like, the frat kid or like the jock, and it's like, okay, well, what games are you playing? Like, oh, I'm playing Madden, or I'm playing Call of Duty.
I dabble in video games. Is what you mainly should have said.
So it's like, okay, well, what else do you play? I was like, oh no, that's it. Oh, so you just play Call of Duty and Madden every year?
Yeah,
Like,
get every November you're out at the store buying the same games every year.
Yeah,
there are other games.
Yeah, not that there's anything wrong with that.
No,
but it's just like,
there are other
it's
games.
like, come on, man. It's like,
yeah. And again, like, if you look at
dip your toe in another pond.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Twitch, Fortnite is, I think, like next to League of Legends. And
I know.
It's definitely above PUBG.
How do you think about the whole mobile crossover?
I think this is Epic
I think
doing.
it's funny.
Epic has turned a heel, like, and it irritates me because I'm like,
dude,
what have you guys? You guys created the genre of horde. And you were gonna do that, like that was what Fortnite was. Well, Fortnite was a horde game.
That is what the base game is.
Yes,
if you
that is exactly what the game is.
Buy the base game, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's hordes and zombies and things like that.
More. There's a lot to it, but yeah, it's like a tower defense mode, but like to the absurd and ridiculous. But it's like a $60 game, and everybody's just getting the free play version. Here's
my thing though. You cannot step up and talk about how Fortnite's so great when you didn't buy the game. If you own the free version, don't talk to me. You have no way to stand on it. Well, I supported PUBG twice because I have faith in them. Everyone that just downloaded the free version of Fortnite is just going, it's popular, might as well play it.
The thing is, though, is that the free version is selling them copies because, like I said, I have moms that come in that have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, my kid plays Fortnite, and apparently there's something you can buy for it. So, like, I've sold a ton of copies of Fortnite just because, the moms don't know that
they want
that they're separate, and that their kid is just playing
the free version,
the free version of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So the moms are spending like $60.
It's a $60 game.
I think
no
so,
way.
Okay,
I gotta look that up.
I believe it is. It's like a $50 or $60 game. And the funny thing is like I'm pretty sure the moms are spending $60 when their kids just gonna probably keep playing the free version.
Yeah. Well, nowadays kids don't play the story mode. I've told I've told Jameson to play the Call of Duty World War II campaign like 9 or 10 times, and he's like, "Well, I'll never play it." Yeah. I'm like, "Dude, there's a whole game. You've played only 20% of this game. Like, the online thing is something that they focus on, but people took time to write that story to live action put people in that game, and you're gonna not play it.
Yeah,
you're wrong with games right now. You're the reason why games are going in the toilet and loot boxes exist.
Why loot boxes and everything now is games as a service.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Fortnite's like a $60 game.
Oh, hold on. There's a Fortnite drink?
Of course there is.
But it has nothing to do with the game. It's just that. There it is. Oh, it's not on the Target app, and I don't care to look it up anywhere else. You can look it up at Amazon. I'm just saying, I know there are people already like super pissed that I even just threw Fortnite under the bus. No pun intended. Yeah, party bus. But respect the company, the group that made that genre. Like that. Like, sure, they maybe not came up with the idea, but it's like, there's a reason why people are copying this, and PUBG's the reason why they copied it.
I'll put it. Yeah. Ow! What are you doing?
He bit you?
Yeah. He knocked the cable off, so I put it back in the video. That's okay. It's like this. So when you think of the battle royale genre, you think of.
I think of PUBG.
Okay, because we'll think of it like this. Like when you think of kart racers, what do you think of?
Well,
Mario
kart ratio.
Kart.
Mario
you
Kart,
were gonna see, but
I like Diddy Kong.
But Diddy Kong Racing, in our opinion, I think we both agree, is far superior. But everybody thinks Mario.
Yeah.
You know, it's that sort of same thing. The base game has only a 3.5 out of 5 score.
Yeah, because it's trash. No one played it.
Yeah, Best Buy right there, $59.99.
Jeezums. Like the standard edition is. Come on.
But here's the thing, though. Here's what I don't. The thing I don't like about Fortnite is Epic is shutting down games, shutting down studios. They shut down Paragon and moved all the developers working on it to Fortnite. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. They close. Yeah.
Even though Paragon was a giant flop, but the thing is though it was new, and I like when companies take a risk and they're like, nope, we're gonna do it. We're gonna take a risk.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna attempt to make some sort of thing happen, and it didn't work. But yeah,
I think
whatever.
I think they also canceled another game and put them on Fortnite as well. But it was one that wasn't released.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they shut down Paragon and put that whole development team now on Fortnite, and I have coworkers that loved Paragon. Actually,
yeah, it was a PS4. You can still play it.
No, the servers are down.
Really? It's downloadable, like as of a week ago.
As far as I know, either the servers are still up and it's not going to get any more updates. But as far as from what I've heard, like it's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just I don't want to say I hate Fortnite because I do like what they've added to it.
Well, it's also,
but like I don't like the fact that people are saying it's the holy grail of video games right now, because it's not. It's not the best game ever. It is a game that capitalized on a trend and it succeeded at it. And the only reason, think of it this way. If Fortnite was $30 like PUBG, would you have bought Fortnite or would you have bought PUBG? If they were the same price.
I probably would have bought PUBG.
It's just because in my mind, if they would have came out, if they would have said, here's a new thing, it's like and like they would have said $30, you can buy. We're lowering the price of Fortnite to $30. You'll get this battle royale version, and with this story campaign thing that they have in it. If that was the case, guaranteed people wouldn't have bought that game. They would have just went like, oh, there's a battle royale thing, but Fortnite's or PUBG's coming to Xbox, so I'm just gonna buy that. And like, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to. And sure, the reason why a lot of people will also give it crap is that they'll say, well, PUBG's not complete. It's like, well, the only reason why this game was complete because it was a different game. Like that's the reason why it was complete. They just added a big map to it.
Flip.
Yeah, it's just dumb.
Yeah, I think one of the things that this particular situation reminds me of is when I've heard a few people tell me, did you know Angry Birds is more popular than Mario? Angry Birds has sold more games than Mario, and I'm like, well, first of all, Mario was never released for free, nor have you ever been able to buy a Mario game for like under $5 new.
Yeah, and it's like, always a console exclusive.
Yeah,
and everyone has a phone.
Yeah, and that arguments like that just drive me nuts, and I'm like, but that's like, you can't compare like a $60 game with something that's free or something that has a price tag versus something that was initially, because if I remember right, Angry Birds like initially launched for free and then it became
it was 99 cents.
Oh,
and then it became free. But yes, I get what you're saying.
And it's just like, you can't. Would you have paid $60 for Angry Birds?
No, I would not have ever paid $60 for Angry Birds.
Okay.
I was mad enough that I was buying it for $1.
But that's the thing. It's such like you can't. I don't think it's quite fair to compare games when they've got one has such when the price tag is just so different, especially like in the case of Angry Birds and Mario. It's like Mario, sure, because they're like, oh, Mario's been around for 3 decades, but Angry Birds, there's more copies of Angry Birds in the game. It's like, well, of course there are. A higher install base because it's phone, tablet, anything can play it. And 2, it's like free and or $1.
Yeah.
It's like, sure, of course every parent's going to buy that for their kid to keep them distracted in the car.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to, go buy a Switch to give them Mario Odyssey to play in the car. I mean, what I mean?
I will say this too about the PUBG Fortnite thing. PUBG is only Xbox and PC, and Fortnite's on everything except for Switch.
Coming soon.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe don't hold them. I mean, I'm not saying they won't do it. Which is weird that they're doing a phone version before they're doing a Switch version. So what the hell? But
testing the waters, I guess.
Of what? Like they've already done it.
Handheld market, I guess.
I would have just threw it on the Switch.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you think they would? I'm sure Nintendo wouldn't mind.
No, it would have definitely boosted up their multiplayer stuff. But yeah, and the thing is with PUBG, the reason why it's not on PlayStation is PlayStation doesn't do like half-created games. They don't do game preview stuff, and so that's where Microsoft is able to capitalize on it. And then there's rumor that Microsoft just might flat out buy Bluehole and the guys who make PUBG, or the was it PUBG Company is now their company name. They just flat out called themselves after the game.
I thought
there's rumor of that, but
I thought
it wouldn't put it past them.
I thought though that Bluehole was owned by the company, is it Tencent?
But Bluehole is just the people that are porting it. Yeah, I think. Oh no! They're doing it both. They're doing both things.
Bluehole's...
But the thing is the other
Tencent I think is also the parent company that owns like League of Legends.
I don't know.
And cause there's like this big company like in Asia, in China, that owns like League of Legends or owns Riot Games, and I think they also
it's like a Take-Two situation.
Kind of, yeah.
Where Take-Two owns 2K and Rockstar.
Right, and just how like Activision is and Blizzard.
Yeah.
But I believe Bluehole is owned by a parent company, and I'm pretty sure it's the same company that owns Riot Games that does League of Legends.
Well, I mean, either way, the rumor is that Microsoft might buy the PUBG company, which is PlayerUnknown's whole entire company.
Right.
But there is like when the whole thing happened, it was just for the game preview situation. So if they buy it, I think Microsoft might just keep going with it. They might just go, yeah, once the game comes out, it's coming to everywhere, because they own Minecraft and it's on everything, literally everything. And so that's the thing of I think if Microsoft does buy PUBG company, that it wouldn't affect it at all. If not, it would boost up the morale. Because every time I've never heard a Microsoft company, though, if I dig deep enough, I might be able to find something. But I've never heard someone that was partnered with Microsoft in the last like 10 years that was like, nope, we had a horrible time. Like everyone at Cuphead has said, nope, we had an amazing time. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have even had the stretch or runway that we would have continued making the game.
I wonder where BioWare would be without Microsoft.
That's another thing. It's like Mass Effect exists because of Microsoft.
And before.
Oh yeah,
because they
Knights of KOTOR. Yeah. So that's another thing.
And stuff before that, but I know Knights of the Old Republic was their big Xbox OG Xbox.
Yeah, Xbox.
Like,
that was a long time ago.
So,
which is probably the reason why Mass Effect was an exclusive. But like, the thing is like,
EA bought them after Mass Effect 1.
Rest in peace. And then we got Andromeda. So
dude,
there you go.
Anthem is not looking good.
Oh man,
they've lost 2 leads. So one guy who came back, right?
Can we wrap? We do have a little bit of time, but yes, quick story.
So, the guy. So there's a writer, okay, like a lead writer who was part of BioWare up until the end of Mass Effect 2. Then he jumped ship. Okay. He then came back
after Mass Effect 2, he left.
After Mass Effect 2, he left.
Okay.
He later came back, and he's been working with Anthem, and I think like I know it's gonna be old news for now. It's gonna be like a month old, but as of recording today, like last week, he jumped ship again.
Oh boy!
And he's like the second big name person out of BioWare to jump ship in like the past month. And I was super hyped when they announced Anthem, since Star Wars and all this other stuff, and now
I will tell you, I have been playing Star Wars. Not a bad game. It did get a bad rep. I think the gameplay is just fine because I trust DICE, but I can't say anything because I haven't played it. Mm-hmm. I just know what I've seen and read on news gaming stuff. But I think we gave it I think Ashton gave it like a 7 something.
Yeah.
So.
But back to Anthem, he's like the second big like lead person on the project to leave, and now I was so hyped and pumped when that game was announced because I think it was the E3 after Mass Effect Andromeda? Yeah, it was.
It was like
yeah,
last
and so
year.
like
It was
this last
when this game got announced.
Mass Effect released
Anthem got announced last year.
Yeah,
so.
Mass Effect I think released
2016.
No, 17.
I thought it was wintertime.
No, it released like this month last year. It's been out for I think like a full year now.
Oh, okay.
It was released right like a couple months before E3.
Okay.
But yeah, that left a bad taste in my mouth, and then I saw the BioWare Anthem trailer, and I was like, okay, all right, this is looking. I'm on board with this. And then just since
now
my level of like excitedness for this game has just been to where like it's not probably going to be a day one purchase for me now.
Yeah.
Personally, with Anthem.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know what will happen with Anthem. I think it definitely has potential, but it's like, who knows? Who knows what will happen?
Yeah, because it worries me because like
don't go all in like that.
Yeah, no,
just don't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing. I learned my lesson.
All right, you got close us out in 1 minute for that.
All
topic.
right, yeah. So, like this guy, like wrote. Was the lead writer for like all of the really good BioWare games, Knights of the Old Republic, Jade Empire, Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2. Like the guy knows what he's doing, and he's now gone again. And it's just like, you know,
who knows what will happen?
Yeah, I'm very skeptical with it now personally, but yeah, I'll leave that there.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to leave in the comment section below how much we were wrong about Fortnite. Again, I'm not saying the game is bad. I'm saying
not your cup of tea.
It's getting the notoriety that it didn't technically deserve and is using a. What's funny though is that PUBG is running on Unreal Engine.
I know, yeah.
So they can't. Then Epic was like, well, then don't use our engine. Yeah. And then they were like, all right, we're done. Yeah. that was about that argument. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. If you watched every single part throughout the month or you've watched the full video in itself, ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you guys know there is an audio version of this as well over on iTunes. If you want to go and subscribe to us there, it is called the Primal Target Podcast Hub because there will be more podcasts to come soon. We only have one source, so because it just takes the RSS feed, and if we had all of our podcasts, it would just fill up into that one area. So anyway, Primal Target Podcast Hub. If you have iTunes, you just search that, you'll get it there. Links are in the description below for the Android versions because obviously iTunes isn't there. You can go and subscribe to us on Podbean if you prefer that. Also, more social media links are down below as well. This was a little bit of it's not long. It's not long. Yeah, I don't know how long the last one was. But if you guys have any topics, remember, if you have video game topics, you guys can comment in the comment section below what you guys want us to talk about. And eventually, that third topic won't be just a joint creation. It will be your topic that you want us to talk about.
Today.
Exactly. It's not bad.
Good, so.
But tune in next week, because I guess at this point, no, it'd be the third episode, so whatever. Anyway, tune in with us then after this part, because who knows who will be here. Will it be us two? Will it be a secret guest? Who knows? We don't know yet. But yeah, that's gonna be it. That was Bitcade.
We'll open a big loot box and see who it is.
Yeah, exactly. We'll open the loot box and we might
see what we got.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here's videos at the end card, everything. No, not. I mean, do you want me to put a video over your face? I don't know. Here's the end card.